how many of your prospecting meetings are actually converting over to clients? If you can't answer this question, you need to watch this video right now. What's your conversion rate for prospecting meetings from intro, discovery, maybe to implementation, and then finally to clients? If you don't know that number, stick around for this video and we're going to show you how you can accomplish that through your Wealthbox CRM. Hi, my name is Matthew, and at Advisor Tech Partners, we help firms build out workflows, processes, as well as introduce automation to their firm. If this sounds like you, please feel free to like this video, subscribe, and as well as schedule an intro call with us in our description link below. In our video today, we're going to be showing you how you can start tracking those intro meetings, discovery meetings, as well as maybe any other types of prospecting meetings that you have for those prospective clients before they actually turn into clients. And then after we show you how to build out those customizations into your Wealthbox CRM, we're then going to go into how you can actually build those reports. So we'll start here on our calendar and we'll show you a couple of different examples that we have. So we have our intro meetings here. We have an example one that is scheduled for this week, later in the month. So we have Jane Schmo. We have her for an intro meeting on March 27th, and then on the following day we have Joe Schmo scheduled for a discovery meeting. So if you don't have these custom categories built out into your CRM, like we see here, we have our event category that is showing that this is a discovery meeting. Let's go ahead and jump and show you how you can actually accomplish that. So to build out those customizations, we're going to actually go to the top right 3 dots here. Click on those, then click on settings, and in our next page, this is where we are going to be able to really customize our Wealthbox CRM. So under workspace, I'm going to go ahead and click on customizations, and then once our next page loads up, we see that we have the option here for event categories. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on event categories, and once that loads up here, we're actually going to see the different types of categories of meetings that we have. Now, you can use this to your advantage if you have intro meetings, discovery meetings. Maybe you only have those 2, but maybe you have a 3rd or a 4th meeting. We suggest that you build these out into your CRM so you can start tracking how many intro meetings you're having, how many of those are turning into discovery meetings, and then inevitably, how many of those initial intro meetings are converting over into real clients for your firm. So to start off building these custom event categories for your firm, what we're going to want to do is click on the green category button on the top right hand side. So we'll click create category, and then once our page loads up here, we're going to be able to enter a new category. Now let's say that we have a 4th meeting. Let's say there is a 4th meeting for implementation. So what I can do is essentially name out the type of meeting. Our firm always suggests to put a identifier just so you know what type of meeting this is. So in our case, we know this is a prospecting type of meeting. And let's say again, that's going to be our 4th meeting and we do an implementation. So we're just presenting to the client here and telling them really what are those key steps on implementing their financial plan. So I'll go ahead, color code it, and then I'll click that green save button. And then finally, once it saves, and your page may reload, we have it all the way at the bottom. So I'm going to drag it back up here to the top just so that it's in the same category, the same order that it should flow whenever we have a prospect in our pipeline. Now, sticking to that example that we just had, I want to actually see the numbers and I want to see how many intro meetings we've had this quarter. So your firm may want to track maybe weekly numbers, monthly numbers, but we also suggest really getting that bird's eye view of how many meetings you're having and how many prospecting meetings you're having on a quarterly basis. So what we're going to do now is go to our reporting function and we'll see you there. If you're enjoying the video up until this point, please feel free to like this video as well as subscribe to our channel, as we do produce a lot of content like this designed for financial advisor and financial advisory firms just like yourself who are maybe struggling through building out their CRM. Also, if you feel like this is relevant to your firm, please feel free to check out our free ebook, Mastering Strategies to Avoid the RIA Disaster. This helps a lot of firms that we've come across, and we've heard some good things from it. So download your copy today in the description below. So now let's go to the reporting area in our Wealthbox CRM. So on our left-hand side, we have this reports tab. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And once this page loads up, it's going to actually allow you to choose what type of report you want to build. So I'll click on the green button, Create New Report. And in our next page here, under Report Object, I'm going to select the type of report that I want to build. Now, again, for our example, we just customized our events. So I'm going to want to build out an event report. And let's say I want to make sure that this is a quarterly report, and I know this is a quarterly report without clicking into it. So I'll just put that little identifier here as quarterly. Now that we've selected our event report, I'm going to go down to our fields and start filtering out the types of events we're going to be seeing. And the way that we do this is going to be by selecting the category and showing all the types of customizations that we just built out in our previous step. So we have introductory meeting, and then I'm also just going to be adding 3 other categories here, just so that we can show all of the prospecting meetings that we want to see. So I'm going to put the OR function for all of them, and then we're going to be selecting category, and then is. And then finally, I'm going to go ahead and start looking for all of those other types of meetings that we have. So in our first example, we have our, again, intro meeting, then we go to discovery, then we have our plan presentation, and then our implementation meeting. So once these are all selected, let's move to the fields to display on the report. So now that I'm under the fields to display, I'm going to search for the different types of fields that I actually want to display on our report. So in our example, I want to see the category that it's relating to. And again, our categories are the types of meetings that we are having for this event. And next, I'm going to look for our invitees. I'm going to look for locations, not really that relevant. I'm not looking to see if this was a Zoom or an in-person meeting. I'll go down. Maybe I want to grab the title here. I'll grab the title. And then also I want to see when it was started at, meaning like when is this event actually happening. And on the right hand side, I can go ahead and reorganize these. And lastly, I actually want to see the client that it's relating to. So I'll go ahead and put the related to at the top here. So I got our related to, the type of meeting, title starts at, can move that up a little, and then we have our title and invitees. And then in our next area here, under fields to group by, I'm going to want to show when these events were actually started. So I want to see on a quarterly basis when these events are happening. And it's going to also be advantageous for us to segment out the categories. So we're going to group by 2 different things here. The first one, again, is a starts at. So we want to see each quarter how many of these meetings we're having. And then we also want to subdivide the different types of meetings, meaning the categories that we just built out. So I'll go ahead and now I will save this template. So once I save this template, it may take some time for your CRM to just generate all of that information, maybe from the previous quarter for the past 3 months, which is pretty significant data. So it does take a little bit of time here, but once this loads up, we'll show you what it looks like on our end. So now that our report has actually loaded here, we can see not just the examples that we had, again, our March 27th, March 28th, but we also had some earlier intro meetings that were scheduled on January 24th. Now, What I'm going to show you is a little bit more advanced. You may not have access to this in your Wealthbox CRM. You may need to upgrade, but if you do have this capability to add a chart, this is actually going to give you a real-time visual into these types of meetings. But before we move there, we do have this insanely great valuable data now. We can now show, hey, for Q1 of 2025, we had at least 3 intro meetings and 1 discovery meeting. So now you can take these numbers and really start calculating what are your conversion rates, again, from those intro meetings to discovery, maybe to the implementation, maybe all the way to the end as to how many new clients you are getting per quarter. So that's valuable data. And now we're going to move on to the adding chart function and show you how you can start leveraging this within your Wealthbox CRM. So if we click on add chart, you're going to have a couple of different options as to the type of chart that you can build. In our example, we're going to want to click on stacked column, and we'll call this prospecting meeting chart for an example. On our x-axis, we're going to want to represent time. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on these starts at, and we're just going to want to show our quarterly numbers. So we're going to filter out the timeline by each quarter. So each bar is going to represent a quarter. And on our y-axis, we are going to start really tracking the categories, and we're going to start tracking the categories. So we'll go ahead and make sure that our y-axis is number of events, and then we're going to stack them by our categories, which again, the categories are that intro meeting, discovery meetings, the one that we just built out as a custom event category in your CRM. So once I save this, may again take some time for that report and that chart to build out. But now we can actually see for, again, Q1 of 2025, we had 3 intro meetings and we had 1 discovery meeting. This is how you can start getting real valuable data out of your Wealthbox CRM. If you stuck around to the end of this video, again, please feel free to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and also if your firm is facing challenges just like these or maybe some other Wealthbox CRM challenges, please feel free to schedule an intro call with us. We'd love to discuss those and see how we can help your firm grow.